It is semifinal night. We have Devin Hayes, we have John Klassen, we have Tim Davis. Stay right there, it's boy band time.
Yes.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
No one is singing. We have singers here, and they're not singing. Tim Davis. I hear you, John Klassen.
I don't know the words.
Take a look at yourself and then make a change. You gotta get it right before you got.
Oh. We don't need to go that far.
Little Michael Connor over there.
Welcome in to the craziest after show yet of Boy Band. It is season 1, episode 9, and this studio is packed. Let's just start with that.
Yeah.
We're just gonna go around and introduce ourselves. Devin.
My name is Devin Hayes. Hello.
Devin is here, freshly eliminated and back in LA, and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it.
Freshly eliminated.
He said he had some tea to spill, so here comes the tea.
The tea is about to be spilt, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go. All right, and on our left.
Hi guys, Suzanne Quast. You can find me on social media at Suzanne Quast.
And I'm Carissa Blades, and you can find me on Twitter at Carissa Blades.
Self-promo.
There you go.
And then, okay, so
Shameless.
you can't see, we have John Squad and Devin Squad representing in studio
We have
off
our
camera.
entourage.
Yeah.
And then over on our couch, we have 2 more lovely people who will introduce themselves now.
My name is Tim Davis.
Eloquent.
And I am John Klassen.
Tim Davis, John Klassen, Devin Hayes in the house, and all of you. So clearly it's going to be quite an hour. Share this broadcast, share this video on all your social media right now. We have so much to talk about. And before we get into tonight's episode, where we're going to spend the bulk of our time, we're going to pick up right where we left off last week.
Yeah.
Which Rita said was devastating, or whatever word she used before they put that freeze frame on the screen. So, okay, so Devin.
Yeah.
You know we have to talk about this.
Of course.
Number one thing people asked us and wanted to know this week. So I want to hear from your perspective. You're on stage. How did you think your performance went that night?
I feel my performance that night was one of the best I've ever put on. I watched the video afterwards on YouTube, and not to throw any shade or anything, but they completely cut my mic, the second chorus. The second chorus was my lead. That was my time to shine. And I really killed it, and I remember I couldn't wait to listen to myself again, and then you go back and you'll absolutely hear nothing from me in the video. So.
What did you think of Timberland's feedback or critique?
Timbaland's feedback. I can only respect, you know, the architects at this point. They've helped me so much, you know. But what really made me confused was week 1 when I was with Uplift. They're like, hey man, you know, you're a tall guy. I feel like you were hiding in this, you know. I feel like, where's your confidence? So I took that as I need to work on you know, being shown. I need to work on my confidence, and I really worked on it. And last week, they told me, they're like, you're too much. They're like, you're too confident. So it's did I do it too much, you know? So that really made me confused. But whatever Timbaland said about me being cheesy, I feel like he took that to a personal note. But I can only respect that guy for real though, because like, you know, they're helping us each and every week. So
I appreciate
no shade to them, you know, for real. Like in Emma, I respect Emma the most out of the 3, because she's just so nice, and she's not the type to put someone down like that. She'll tell you, you know, some criticism, but she won't, you know, really bring you down. Because I remember standing on that stage and hearing him say that, like, oh, you're just too cheesy, man, and stuff like that, and it was really hitting me hard and made me cry. That's what made me cry. What made me, it wasn't leaving the show that made me cry. It was really just kind of the humility of it, you know. I felt.
Is that what you were thinking about as he was talking?
Yeah, because I was like, oh my gosh, this is happening. He just kept going.
I was shocked,
Yeah.
and I was wondering what was going through your brain when you're standing up there. You think you killed it. You think it's one of your best performances on the show, and Timbaland says that. What's going through your brain in that moment?
What did I do wrong? You know, I do believe the other 8 people on the show, they're all better than at singing than me, you know, because I'm honest when it comes to like my own natural abilities and talents. they're so talented, and I was definitely the worst singer on the show. So if they're really like searching for the best singer, but they kept saying how they want, you know, like a whole package.
It's more than vocals.
Yeah,
right?
it's more
Yeah.
than vocals.
Just
and
out
that's
of
what
curiosity, if you had like the opportunity, would you do it differently, or?
Yeah, I feel like I would connect more with the other guys. You know, I would definitely go back and make sure that they know that I love them more than they think I love them. You know, because I really felt like I was more isolated to myself on this show, and I feel like I really made a big mistake with not really getting myself involved with the other guys, and that's one regret I have. Other than that, I can't put myself down, you know, and I can't doubt
Sure.
myself, and it's only like up from here. I just need to keep the smiles going and the positivity, you know. So
If you were like to scale yourself based on just how you felt you did personally, like how would you rank yourself in terms of where you think you could have performed? Like, do you see yourself at like a 5, or do you see yourself at a 10? Because you were saying you felt really good obviously before you were getting the critique, but to you, like, where did you feel like you
for sure.
were?
So that last performance,
Yeah, for that last performance.
my first solo was a little shaky. I knew that when I was singing that, and I was like, okay, well, I just need to, you know, kill it even more. But ever since that solo happened, it was like they didn't have my mic on. You can really watch the video, and you can honestly see me in one part where I'm running up and I'm singing the end of glory, and you can't hear me at all. Like you see this, and you can't hear anything. So it's just,
I need to go back.
I
And,
know.
I mean,
I
this is
was
the first
thinking it
time we're
too.
hearing
I
this,
know.
so
But-
I need to go back.
But we
and watch
do
it.
talk a lot about, it's like, because obviously we watch live and then we come and we watch on TV, and it is very different
The
what
mix
you're
is just
experiencing. The
crazy.
mixing.
And people get lost. Things
and-
get lost
really,
on camera
really
that
just
did shine.
look
there.
at the video, and on that second chorus, look at the passion that's going through my body when I'm singing that. You can see it in my face. You can see it. I'm rocking out, and you can't hear anything. You
So
know?
my question, can I ask a question even though I'm
Of course.
I was about to toss it to Tim.
I'm
so
sure Tim
please
has
go
got things
right
to say.
ahead.
Yes, please.
Tim.
So my question is, do you feel like there was a conspiracy in the control room against you?
I don't feel like they did it to put me down or to
Or
take
do you feel
away.
like it was intentional that your mic was cut?
I don't know. I don't want to say that, and I don't want to make excuses, but I just wish people were able to hear that better, because I felt like I did a 10
Let's-
out of 10 on that last
So
chorus.
let's talk about the challenge of live audio mixing in a room full of screaming people.
Yeah,
And were you on the
honestly.
thrust when you did that
Yeah,
line?
mhm.
So you have hundreds of screaming at the top level decibels
Yeah,
right around you, and your mic is picking all of that up.
that's true.
And so the audio mixer, I'm sitting in there with him.
Yeah.
He's like,
he
he has
doesn't know
to
what
turn
do.
you down, because you're like leaning down to the people.
Right.
The further you lean down, the more their screams get into it. So
Right.
all you hear is screams.
Mhm.
So it's a real challenge, and that's live audio on a live show. It's just a challenge.
So do you
I can guarantee you, Lord, you know I'm telling the truth. No one ever has conspired to do anything but help every person on this show.
Of course.
As
yeah.
producers.
Of course.
So,
Well, which is something I actually believe Tim's saying.
Yeah.
Now, the architects, I don't know. I believe Tim on that. Okay, well, I just have one final question. And you guys, we're going to get more lively and fun as always. I wanted to start here rather than end the night here, because we saw so much talent tonight, so many great performances. Yeah. But I thought it was fair. You know, I wanted to give Devin a chance to tell his side. I really felt for you in that moment, because nobody does well with being put on the spot. And I could tell that you did not expect a confrontational critique. Even if they were like, you weren't that strong vocally, as they always say. You didn't expect that. And I don't know what I would have said. I don't know, like, what was the right thing to say in that moment.
I was just shocked.
So I wanted to get this out of the way. But Tim, what do you think about Devin's growth? Whatever. What would you say?
I've grown to love Devin, and he and I have had some really hard talks.
Yeah.
But great talks. Here's the thing about Devin. His personality is one that is able to take very direct confrontation. But I think most people are afraid to do that. I wasn't.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked, Tim.
But because I know that he's that way and he could take it, and so before the end, when we were talking about when he was really addressing his issues with the other guys, and
which they gave him credit for, as we talked about last week. They vouched for you backstage.
I mean,
particularly, you know who. I mean, you saw it. They stood up for you and were like, he really tried, and he tried to change course when he realized
that was real, and it was legitimate, and it was because he confronted himself on the reality of that situation. So I don't know, I saw him grow more personally than almost anything, because he came in, he's been on camera his whole life. It's what he does, you know. I think part of that persona gets mixed up sometimes with reality in him, and he doesn't know how to separate and be authentic on both sides. And that's a skill that's learned in maturity. But so I think his personal growth was what I saw the most. Was a great entertainer from day one.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
He still is.
I love you, Tim.
We've gotten so real in these 15
there
minutes.
There are so many feels today.
No,
you
it's
guys,
all real.
We were like crying during the performances. Not me.
Tim is the realist, says someone in live chat.
What do you think?
accurate.
Can I ask something real quick? So, what do you think it was like during during your time there that, you know, where you ended up having and sitting down with the other guys? Do you think it was the fact that, I mean, that you became a little bit more introverted, that you were trying to focus on what you had to do while you were there? Like, what was it?
I was just so focused and determined the whole time, you know, to the goal of making it in the final 5, and I really didn't sit back and think to myself what the others were thinking about me, you know, because it would just be like go, 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 push, push, push for me, and I don't really have a good sense of tone in a room or something, because you remember that one time I ran out after stage and I was smiling and stuff, and the other guys were crying, and that was because of I'm not really good at like seeing the tone in the room and everything, you know. So that moment really told me, like, I'm not feeling what they're feeling right now. Why am I so distant? Like I want to be, you know, in the fields with them as well. Like, I need to connect with them. So ever since that time where I turned around and I saw everybody crying and I was up there, you know, smiling and everything, I was like, wow, I'm this distant to not be feeling what they're feeling. Something has to change. So ever since that day, I really was trying to get close with the guys, and finally took a day where I was like, all right, I'm going to invite them all to my room, and I want to talk to them on deeply. So I got them all in my room, and I talked to them. I said, guys, if there's anything you want to say about me, say it. But I'm telling you guys, I know how you feel about me. You probably think I'm fake. You probably think I'm fake, or like, you know, feel like I'm selfish about myself or something. And I was spilling it all, you know. This kind of humiliating, but it's something I had to do. So I just kind of opened up to him and told them who I was, and Chance was there for me too, to tell them, because Chance was the guy who would know all my ups and downs and my true sides and my true colors. So I don't know. I mean, ever since that night, I've been so close with them, and the respect has just been all the way up here. And seeing them again tonight, oh, I love seeing them tonight and supporting them. I was out in the crowd. I was like, yeah, go for it.
At one point, they were doing the crowd shot for Michael, and Napoleon was like, I'm so sorry, Devin. We got to get you out of the shot. That's weird.
Yeah.
So speaking of tonight, we have performances to get to. And by the way, the live chat is popping now. It's actually been going since 11 a.m. this morning. So
Wow.
You guys are fantastic, and we love hearing from you. I want to talk overall thoughts on tonight, because I was expecting this night to make people's voting decisions easier, and I felt like it made them harder, and I left
Way
it
harder.
so confused.
Yeah, way harder.
No clue
Way
who's
harder.
going to be. But seriously, I don't know who's going to be in the top 5, because I felt like anybody earned it tonight. What do you guys' thoughts?
It's really anybody's game. What did you think, John?
Yeah, well, see, like before this, I had an idea of like who might be top 5 and all this stuff, and then watching the performances tonight, everyone, I think, stepped up where they needed to step up, and so after like seeing the performances, you're just kind of like, oh shoot, what are they gonna do? Like those were all like top of their game, top level performances from really, really, really great artists, and so like it's anybody's game at this point.
So you've been, I don't know if you've been at every live taping, but we see you at a lot. So you've been around.
I've been around, yeah.
And you had, it sounds like the same experience we had. There were a couple surprises tonight where people really stepped it up. And had they performed at their normal level, it would have been easier to delineate these people deserve top 5. Okay. But everybody stepped it up.
Oh, yeah.
They really did.
I have to say, you know, it's interesting, and I have to give you props, because last time you were here, one of the people that you pointed out was Devin. I'm sorry, not Devin, Drew. Yes, he pointed you out as well. He did, sorry. Drew, and I saw tonight, I mean, I always thought that he was good vocally, but what he did on stage tonight blew my mind.
Listen here. Drew Ramos has been the most underrated person on this show from day one.
I will agree.
And he has worked the hardest. He deserves it the most. I can tell you that. He deserves it the most. He has worked, and he's so down to earth and so nice with us, and he's always there for us guys, and Tim knows that. And he just puts a smile on our face, you know? So, Drew, shout out to you, bro. Like, he deserves this. He is he is the best male vocalist on the show, hands down.
Oh.
The best male vocalist on the show.
Great.
You heard it here.
Tim, do you agree with that?
That he's the best male vocalist? Drew is
There's
absolutely...
no non-male vocalists, are there?
he's absolutely the most consistent, and really rises to any challenge that I put in front of him. Like, without any hesitation, I say, I need you to chest that. I need you to belt that. Okay, I'll try. Like, no, and he'll just go, ah! It'll be amazing. And tonight, what he did tonight, he was so grounded and settled and established, and just like flexed his jaw at the end.
The jaw.
Flexed his jaw.
It was amazing. It was true. I was like, wow.
If you want a package, it's Drew Ramos. Stage presence, confidence. He's been confident since day one, for
and
sure.
jaw like a knife.
I was going to say, is this show just coming down to jawlines? First Brady and now Drew. This is just a jawline competition on ABC.
I know we were going to go
wish I
in
could have
order,
a-
but
I'm
if
sorry,
we're
I know,
talking...
Well, let's talk about
if
Drew.
we're going to talk
Let's have
about
some
Drew,
pillow talk with this
sorry.
full studio.
I just wanted to say that song, I can't believe that they picked it.
It's inappropriate.
Yeah. Slutty, girls
Tim,
are putty.
did
Like,
Glee
it was
not have
so...
Did
I
Glee
cannot
not have some
believe-
inappropriate moments, Tim?
I was not a part of it. I refuse to be a part of the
I think Glee
inappropriate.
was rated TV 14. This is only a TV PG.
Yeah.
Well,
and
All the
still.
13-year-olds out there, don't go look up what dirty things Tim created for Glee. Don't go look them up on Netflix. Your
Shade.
moms will kill me.
Wow.
Shade.
Okay, so wait. So can we just talk about Jaden is the one who we keep coming in here and saying he's so grown up, he's so mature, etc. I honestly thought Drew read the most grown up tonight.
Okay.
With the, I don't know what it was, if it was
It's
just
because he's so grounded as a performer. He's the
Crazy.
most experienced and comfortable on that stage as a performer, because it's seasoned. He's seasoned. That's what it is. Because he's been doing it his whole freaking life in the subway, underground.
Well,
Yeah.
I actually have a comment on that because, and this is not shade on Drew at all, but they made it sound like from the New York, you can sip your whatever it is.
Here comes the tea, ladies and gentlemen.
No, but they made it sound like from the New York subway in the Bronx to this is the biggest journey. And I actually thought he's always been singing, though. To me, the biggest journey is Michael Connor going from not a singer to
That's
this.
true.
Yeah.
I give him, I mean, I'm not taking away Drew's voice. I just feel like if we're talking who grew the most, yes, it's a contrast to go from, well, the CBS lot is kind of trashy, but like it's a big contrast to go from the Bronx to Hollywood in
No one is safe, ladies and
no
gentlemen.
one is safe tonight, not on semifinals. No, but I'm saying, like, I just think Michael Connor has had the biggest music trajectory of, he literally came in and told you I'm not a singer, and he's on a essentially singing competition, and he's grown so much. So I don't know, I think Drew is the stability.
Just like J-Hype did.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of them grew so much. So in terms of musically growing, I give them both credit, and I will give Drew credit not for growth but for consistency.
One of the things I said when we were on
Yes.
the way to AFTERBUZZ was, you know, we always talk about, would you be paying to go see this show? And I was like, I would pay extra money to have seen Drew do extra songs tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm like, yeah, I'm probably not essentially in their demographic of girl who would go to their concert, especially
you might be a
pregnant. But you know what I mean.
I can't.
But I would pay to see a show of just him, and obviously it would be awesome to have whoever the top 5 are. But I was just like, yeah, I'd pay a ticket to see that guy sing. His performance was so polished and
I cannot
amazing.
get enough of Drew. Literally, I can just be sitting there and be like, hey, Drew, will you just sing me something? Like, I'm feeling down, just sing me something. And he's like, of course.
That's true.
No, but Tim, apparently you give massages backstage.
Oh my god.
We did hear that actually.
Per request. I do not volunteer.
No, Tim's
I
massages
do.
hurt. He really digs down in you, bro.
No, you have like
Yeah.
this
no
man's
idea.
fingers are. They are stiff. they can. Oh, it's great though. It's like one of the, it's one of those.
Okay,
hurts
anyways.
So good
Yeah, anyways.
This is sounding very strange.
Let's talk about
Anywho.
There's gonna be an Instagram account called Tim's Hands. or
It's
something.
different.
John, you need to know that Tori said she would pay $1 million for you to be back on the show.
Aw.
Listen.
Well,
Look at John
dang.
right now. Look how amazing this man looks. I gotta point it out. Too.
This
The
is
hair,
going
the
back,
smile.
but I was not
appreciate
happy when
it.
you went home, nor did I think you should have gone home. So
I
if we're
appreciate
to go back in the elimination process, we had thoughts on that arrangement, not the vocals, but the choreography and various things, and I did not think you should have gone home.
John, I have so much
sorry.
respect for you, bro.
I appreciate it.
And look at John now with holes in his pants, one step from the Hoboville.
Tim, it's new style.
This is
He
out
needs
of
that
control.
He
You guys
needs that
better be
$1 million,
sharing-
lady.
Tori, we need the $1 million. You guys need to be sharing this because this is out of control tonight. Okay, so we don't miss anyone, we're going to go back to going in order. So we're going to start. Oh, by the way, the moms are coming on, not for a full episode. Well, it is a full hour, but for a special, a bonus episode over the weekend. So stay tuned because at the end, we're going to tell you about the Moms of Boy Band
Moms of Boy
special.
Band.
And will Colleen be there or will she not? We will tell
Queen
you.
Colleen.
Queen Colleen. So, okay, Marcus singing Grenade. Thoughts to anyone?
I was so when I watched like the ABC's live Instagram yesterday, that was the one that I was like, first of all, the song is just amazing. And I was just so excited for that, and I was excited that it started it off, and I thought it set the tone really well. But again, it's always so weird watching stuff back. It didn't sound as good on TV as it sounded live, and I always hate when that happens. And I
Agreeable.
understand from a production standpoint, obviously, why those things happen, but I just feel bad for America because sometimes I'm like, yeah, like with something with you,
Exactly.
they get cheated out of, like, we have such an awesome experience live and we're so lucky to do that. But his dancing is on point.
I was just gonna say
mean,
that. Yeah, I think he's the total package.
Also-
And the way that he's able to like really rally the girls and get everybody involved, the crowd involved, I think is a real skill.
I know it has no bearing on him, like, being in the band or anything, but like watching him in the dugout when other people are singing, he is rooting them on so much that I'm like,
Absolutely.
that guy should be in the band. Like, he's not thinking, what would I be doing singing? He is like he is sending support through his eyeballs. Like, you can just see it coming out of his face. Like, when Jaden was singing, like, Marcus was feeling it so much. I was just like, God, those two would make like amazing harmony on stage because they Marcus would be supporting him so much. Like, he could help him get to even maybe a level he's not at yet. I don't know. I like Marcus. Like Timbaland said, he's a leader.
Yeah.
And he definitely is. He's a good person and all of the boys are.
I know, we were saying like, hey, I think, what good mentors for young kids now. Like all of the boys on
Any of
stage.
them could get chosen, and this is a solid band of role models that you're
Yes.
not
Yeah.
embarrassed if your kids are like following or watching.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
they're
Or want to
good.
go to the concert. You're like, of course, you should want to go see those boys. Those are sweet, great, talented kids. Like,
Yep.
I got
absolutely.
2 words for Marcus. Ready? 2 of
Okay.
them. He's in.
I think he's in. We said that last week,
We
though.
did.
You know,
We did.
seriously, this is so true. The first day I got here for Top 30, right? The first day I was with him, I told him, I said, hey man, you're in. I said, you're in. he was singing
Why?
in the
What?
back.
Like, what about it?
Okay, so I saw him, like, this was our first day together, and he's like doing Michael Jackson dance moves and all these like different folks and everything, and he's just riffing, and I walk up to him like, you got the package, you're in. And he's like, don't say that. He's like, I'm not making top 18. I said, Marcus, you're good, you're in. I'm telling you.
And now top 8.
From day one, when he makes the band, I'm gonna say, Marcus, you remember that day when I told you. I told him, I said, remember this day. You're in.
I mean, the Architects compared him to Michael Jackson, Bobby Brown, and Justin Timberlake.
What a comparison.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it gets bigger than
And
that.
he's already been called a producer's dream.
Yes.
So, okay, so we have to move on. People in the live chat are agreeing. 2 people specifically said they were at the live show tonight, and then they watched it, and they do notice the differences. Like, you do. It is true. And actually, which brings us to Sergio, because Sergio is somebody that you guys commented, and a couple of you said in the live shows you felt like he shined more than on camera. What did you think about Sergio tonight? I think the Architects were happy. Did we think that he shined?
Yes.
Actually, I heard he was doing "Shape of You," the song, and I was like, okay. It was kind of threw me off a little bit. I was like,
Same.
There's no real big part for him to shine,
right?
Like, and he's got a great voice, so like that's what I would want to hear from him. But he really surprised me when he got up there, and I was actually very, very impressed with what he put out on the stage, especially with the song choice.
What do you think, Tim?
About Sergio's performance?
Oh, the tea, guys, the tea.
I know. Sergio is amazing because he's so consistent always. Like he's not the kind of guy that wows you with vocal riffs or big moments, but I will say in tonight's song, he did have a moment. Like he sang higher in this song than he has in any song all season, I think, as a soloist, and he really owned it. Like it was a challenge for him to do this one part of the song. It was in the second half of the tune, and he really owned it. He really did a great job. I always feel so safe watching him, secure. Like I'm not scared of what's going to happen.
That's true. I put comfortable and confident. He is always those 2 things.
I've never seen a negative moment with Sergio.
Yeah.
So
actually,
seriously,
now to think about it, like not one time
You're right.
I've been like, ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just it's always been like, yeah.
Yeah,
Sergio.
and when he hit that high note tonight,
Bro,
I was like, Sergio?
Chills. I got chills.
Sergio?
I know.
I looked at, oh, his mom's so cute. She was crying for him.
Yeah.
She's like,
Oh,
Their whole
His
family.
family gets emotional.
Dude.
I know.
Even when he does great.
Yeah.
They're just like, I'm so moved.
After I got eliminated last week, they all came out to me bawling their eyes out. We're so sorry, Dad. We love you so. I was like, it's fine. It's fine. They're like, we love you so.
I
much.
know.
So sweet.
He's got the best.
So much respect for
Love
them and him and his family.
I do need to call out, this was a while ago, but I just need to call it out, that Drew Ramos got in the live chat and said Devin is such a daddy, which is just killing me. So, this is everything. This is a legendary after show. Okay, let's talk about Brady. I'm not the only one. We have 2 things of just backstage. It's not really tea, but you can sip tea since it's your thing in this episode. But it's some fun backstage facts. So first of all, Brady got his request in. He wanted to do Sam Smith, and he wanted to wear a white suit. So that's fun. But I feel like I need to point this out because this, to me, in terms of my voting, which nobody here is talking about their voting, this is like November in America where, well, I did talk about who I voted for. But this is like, you don't tell what you did in the voting booth. This is safe. So, but I will say this because I think this is, Drew's cracking up now. I do think that this is important. Brady told us he really does want to be in the group and he doesn't think solo music is his thing and he doesn't have an intention of pursuing that or really want to pursue that if he doesn't make the band. I'm just speaking for myself here. To me, that's relevant to my voting because there are people on the show that are like, well, I'll move on to the next thing. It is what it is. It's an opportunity. And that's fine. I love that attitude and I love that positivity. When we talked to Brady and we're like, why should people vote for you? He was like, because I really want to be in a group and I'm not going to go solo. So, America, it's your chance. I'm pushing it. What did you guys think of Brady?
I thought he killed it tonight. I think, first of all, to sing Sam Smith in general is a very difficult task. I thought that it was very powerful, the fact that he didn't have to do much. It was just him up there on stage and he commanded the audience and drew everybody in. To me, it was like an Adele moment. It was like a very Adele thing to do where you don't have to do all of that to get everybody's attention.
True.
I thought he killed it.
I thought it was interesting that what we found out backstage is the boys got to send in 5 requests, and then they would pick a song with them, which I don't know if the fans knew that that's how that was going down. But he requested Sam Smith songs, and I always say I wish I had a scented candle that was Sam Smith's voice. And I'm just like, I just think that's such a hard person to pick.
Yeah.
You know, to
difficult.
he just hits very specific notes that other people don't sing that way, and he doesn't hide behind anything. And I was just like, oh, you know, that's going to be a really hard song. But the camera movement, everything it did, it definitely pulls you in. And he started off slow, and I was like, because he knows that he is going to kill it in the end. And you only have the confidence to do that when you know, like when you feel like all the pieces are aligning. And I don't know, I thought that his whole performance was really great.
The vocal control Brady
Yeah.
has. Unbelievable. I'm always sitting here and I'm always searching for a little flatness or just like a hair of him singing flat or sharp, and I'm waiting for
sharp.
it, right?
Yeah.
He usually sings sharp.
No,
He
Tim.
always
Tim.
tells us that
I'm
he
backing
sounds
up
awful.
Brady.
Yes, he said he was pitchy. We're like,
No.
what are you
Every
talking
week,
about?
though, he comes backstage
Yeah.
and he's like, I sounded bad, you guys. And we're like,
No.
That's the thing
you're
about
right.
Brady that he needs to work on is his self-confidence.
I don't know that you're the person.
Oh, dear.
We don't want him to be
Actually,
sad.
never mind. No, Timbaland would call you out. Don't do that. No.
Actually,
show is
that's
everything.
something that I really admired about Brady. Is he's one of the guys I actually got to be in a group with and like bond with, and I think
Before the architects made the wrong call.
but he was such a humble kid, and he was one of the younger kids on the show, and he would come to me and the other guys be like, yo, what can I do better? And he was always asking like what he can do better, yet when he gets on the stage he still seems like really confident in what he does because he's great. And so I always respected that humility out of him.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say something he said that I think is really adorable. That he said, I think the kindergarten Brady would be proud of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really well said.
Right?
That was
That's
a
what we
Tim
are.
kind of line.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a Tim kind of line.
That just hit me. Wow.
I know, dude. I'm over here like
This was a
whoa.
night of feels.
Yeah. So
A night of feels and an after show of tea. I don't know what's happening. Okay.
Did somebody say T?
You can't hold us back.
Bro,
Speaking
listen.
of Michael and can't hold us, did you like
Yeah.
that segue? Okay, and I'm gonna rant about Michael in a positive way too. I thought Michael commanded the room with like a big dancey song, which is hard. But I also will say they changed his song multiple times.
Oh yeah.
And he got the final like clarification last night at 6, right?
Yeah, 6 p.m.
Oh.
yeah.
Is that right? Is that accurate?
What's today? Thursday?
Yeah.
Or was it
So
Tuesday
he,
at 6?
so he had
At
essentially
Tuesday.
written.
Tuesday at 6.
Tuesday.
That's false.
Still.
That's false. He texted me last night saying that he still didn't have a song picked for him. I texted
Well, they
him.
approved.
That's
No,
false, Tim.
no,
says
that's not true, Devin.
Is it not true?
We had dress rehearsals yesterday
The T.O.
with his song.
Well, I
You're
heard that it was
making
Can't
things
Hold
up.
Us, but they changed the rap or something.
Devin's going to his texts.
No.
He's like, let me
Okay,
check.
the bottom line.
He's like,
Yeah.
The bottom
Somebody's
line is this.
lying.
Well-
The theme in this season is they keep throwing challenges at Michael Connor.
Yes.
From singing to harmonies to dancing to singing in Spanish. It's all new for him. And obviously he chose to enter a singing competition, but it's all out of his element. I said last week I think he should join the Chance category of immortal because he can't, all the things they threw at him, he succeeded at.
Are we talking about Chance? I'm sorry.
No.
Michael Connor.
I thought you were talking about
I-
Chance. I was ready to go in.
His name did get mentioned, but we're
Okay,
gonna get there.
okay, sorry, I was-
I know.
okay.
Yes, I
Continue.
know.
I'm so sorry.
I know.
Are we talking about Chance?
But anyway, I guess my point is this. I thought I didn't think this was my favorite song choice for them to give him. I really don't like the fact that his song changed. But I thought for him to still pull it off with the song changing, once again, him writing a rap, which he did every week except for See You Again. I'm just blown away by Michael, and I feel like this wasn't his biggest shining night for me. But again, I'm just gonna say my thoughts. I didn't think it was his biggest night. I thought Fighter was more powerful emotionally. I
Yeah.
just thought Can't Hold Us isn't an emotional song. But I hope that doesn't affect voting because he has worked so hard and he absolutely deserves this. I've called him from day one. I have never changed that prediction. And if people don't vote for Michael Connor because this song didn't pull at the heartstrings, I will be devastated. That's what I have to say about Michael Connor.
I think Michael Connor is fine.
You think he's in?
I mean,
He's
he's the only one that does what he
Exactly.
does.
Yeah.
And I think he's really gained a following because of that and because people have seen the challenges that he's risen to. I mean, I have such respect for that kid. Gosh.
I'll tell you straight
he's
up.
just
Yeah, of
incredible.
course. I'll tell you straight up some tea right now. Top 30, I came in and I knew he was a rapper, and the first thing I thought of was a rapper on a singing competition, you know? I was like, okay. So I don't know how to perceive this guy. I was like, what can he do? You know,
Same way.
with singing.
Exactly.
I was really.
That's a valid question.
I didn't
Why
think
is he here?
Right.
Why did he audition?
Yeah. Why is he?
Right. So I was like, do they want him for top 18 or do they not? And right when they put him in top 18, I still questioned it. After his first group performance, after the first time I heard him sing, I was like, what? I said to Michael, I was like, what? Where is this coming from? You can sing, man. Like, the amount of respect I have for Michael Connor is unbelievable. He was the other person there, other than Chance. But Michael Connor was there for me. I'm sorry. I know. Michael Connor was there for me. I love Michael Connor. He deserves this. He deserves this. His work is paying off.
Well, he's going to be the first rapper in a boy band.
I agree. And I want to be clear, because people are pushing back on this. I don't think that he did anything wrong tonight. I just think I was moved by See You Again. I was moved by Fighter. I just think there have been so many performances where he wowed me. And I don't think this song, I just don't like Macklemore. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
relatable. Okay. So we talked about Drew. Can we talk about Mikey and Chains, because we've never seen that Mikey before.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
Whoa, Mikey.
What happened?
Woo!
When it was happening live, I kept turning back and forth to them, and I was like, "Who is this? Who is this?" And they were both looking at me like, wait, like they actually thought I didn't know who it was, but I was like, this is a completely different performer than we've ever seen.
And he stepped it up.
He
1,000%.
100,000.
And when he talked about his motivation backstage, he was like, being in the bottom two, he's like, really put a fire under my bum. And like, I think it's really he's proven himself in a way that I'm blown away by. And I didn't necessarily have him in my top 5, but after that, I don't know how he's not.
Yeah, like he picked the right night to show what he could do. It's like if there was somebody who's teetering on voting for him or somebody else, I think
he earned it.
Slayed.
I do too.
He earned that top 5.
That's why I was saying I wondered how much impact this solo competition would have on the voting, and that could really flip it for Mikey.
Can we do a quick poll? You don't have to say what contestant, but can you guys tell us yes or no? Did tonight's performances change who you are voting for? And we're just going to see what the overall consensus is. Yes or no, before tonight, who you thought you were going to vote for, but planned on, whatever, and now after watching it tonight, what did you think? There's a delay. Devin's like watching it.
Hang on. I'm concerned. Somebody just said he's fake though. No, let me tell you some background advice on Mikey. On Mikey, we're talking about Mikey.
That's so weird.
I know. Let me tell you some background advice.
I've never thought that.
No.
He has been so open and so lovable and to everyone on this show.
Really
Whoa,
he has been there for every single person when you needed him. There's no way I could perceive him as fake. So I'm gonna back him up on that one.
Yeah, and even
A lot. Go ahead.
even like after I was kicked off the show, and I didn't really know him that well while I was on the show, but even after I was kicked off the show, he was totally chill, welcomed me with open arms, even though I was off. So like, if you're fake, you're not gonna be the person who's gonna accept someone who's already been kicked off.
Of course.
Yeah.
And so I was already kicked off.
That's
I wasn't gonna help him
Yeah.
out in any way that like socially. So he's not fake, because he was still like, yo, John, what's up? Let's get to know each other.
Yeah.
Like, he was cool.
We also talked about just interviewing him backstage and how genuinely hurt he was being in the bottom 2, and just he was not angry at anyone about anything. He was just like, I am just gonna work harder, and I am just gonna have to find a way to give more and be better. And I was like, well, that is a fighter. And it's like, if this is how you show up when you know it's your time to shine, then you deserve it. I mean, I don't know. It was crazy, all the scrolling. That was like half yeses and half no's.
It was
I've been
half
swaying
and
I was
you,
gonna
but
say 60%. I was gonna say a little more yeses at
They
first,
were-
but then there
Right.
were a lot of no's.
Right.
So and then I think they were saying no to Mikey being fake though.
Oh.
I think that was one hater. We should not have given so much attention.
I know.
to
I'm sorry. It triggered me. I love
no,
Mikey.
it's fine. No.
Okay, so we have to talk about the 2 people that took us to church tonight.
Oh yeah.
First of all, I went up to Jaden and I said, well, you proved that you can do R&B and you weren't a church boy earlier this season. But I said, Jaden, tonight you took us to church. And with all those clouds floating everywhere. And I told him, I was like, Jaden, when I heard you were doing Demi Lovato, I was like, I wouldn't put those 2 people together in my mind. And Jaden was like, me neither. But he killed it. What did you guys think? I already gave my opinion.
I thought he killed it. I thought it was cool to listen to him backstage when he said that he had an out-of-body experience and that he couldn't even tell you what he sounded like. I feel like as an artist, that's what you strive to have, right? To be that present and to feel it that much that you can't even necessarily, it was like he said, an out-of-body experience. I thought, again, it was an interesting song choice, but I thought he was really, really great. And I do feel like it was like heaven. It was like watching this like little angel.
I am very guilty on this show of always saying that, like, I think Jaden has a career as a soloist if he's not in this band.
Yeah.
And, you know, they were doing all of the pulling at the heartstrings, warm-ups, showing you every guy's journey before. And one of the things that we were talking about is...
Oh, I forgot about this.
Okay, so backstage, Jaden was just saying, I've been trying to be in the industry. All I ever hear is no. Boy band is my first and only could be a yes that I've ever had.
I can hear the votes coming in
I know.
now.
And continuing, and he was just like, continuing every week is another yes, and I've never had yes. And he also just talked about, he was like, I have to actually watch my performance back, because he was just like, he was so in the moment that he can't look back on it and remember individual moments. So regardless of whether he makes it or not, I'm happy for him that he got to live his truth in that minute and 15 seconds. He was amazing. We were teary-eyed. I loved him. I thought he was so great.
I got goosebumps.
Tim is laughing. Tim,
why? What is
Well, I just think it's funny. My whole life of 16 years, I've received no's from the music industry.
Okay, but he said with that voice, he's gotten no's for weddings. I'm like, who did they hire and how much did you charge?
This is the thing about Devin. Sorry, I'm looking at Devin. This is the thing about Jaden. This thing about Jaden. He scared me. I didn't know if he was going to do it.
John's face.
I was like, wait,
make that a GIF. Somebody make that a GIF, please.
I did not know. It's not GIF. That's peanut butter.
Yeah.
It is Jeff.
Is it Jim?
It's GIF.
Thank you.
say Jeff.
I know the guy who invented them says it's GIF. but
Okay.
it's not.
Thank you for that clarification of what's correct.
I would really like to hear what Tim has to say.
I would as well.
Okay, so there are two types of performers. Well, there are several types, but there are those people who, when they rehearse it, it's amazing. Every time it's the same. They rehearse it exactly like they're going to deliver it on the performance, right? Jaden is not one of those people. He makes me nervous. Jaden, you make me nervous, and you know that. And I told him, I'm like, why? Like, he's like, Mr. Deasy, can you come over here for a minute? I can't remember how that part goes. This was tonight. Like, I would say 2 performers before he went on.
And you're like, it's too late to not know the part.
Could you sing that thing for me? I'm like, okay. And he goes, oh, I just remembered it. Okay. And then he called me over again. What if I do this thing, right before, I was thinking maybe I should do this. I'm like, you're changing it now? You're having ideas to change your performance now? Stop it. You are making me crazy.
Yeah.
So I tell him this to his face, and I love him. But when he gets out there, I shouldn't be surprised. But after all of the push and pull from the last 4 days, I was like, oh,
I know.
Thank
I went
God.
to heaven in that performance. I just died.
Yeah,
and
I
went to
mean,
heaven.
he was definitely out of himself, above watching. So he did great. Jaden, you just make me crazy sometimes.
So we're running out of time. We have to get to Chance and Man in the Mirror. And really, did we not just heal all of America's problems in one song? Because truly, I'm going to let Devin gush for a moment in just a second. Don't look up those fanfics, though, you guys. Somebody sent them to me. That's a long story. Please don't. I don't recommend. But okay, but here's the thing about this. Chance came backstage and he was like, Napoleon and Tabitha made us say the lyrics out loud and really internalize them way back for a performance. And he said, I did that with Man in the Mirror, and I thought about what happened in Virginia. I thought about what's going on in America. I thought about what's going on in Barcelona, and I really did this song thinking about how we can all like start with ourselves, and we just need hope, and we need to be a change. And I was like, Chance Perez, you are a leader. So that's, I just was floored. But Devin, you do, go ahead.
There is no way Chance Perez will not be in this boy band.
Yep.
There
We
is
know.
not one fraction of a percent. You know why? Because day one, he has been the realest person. He has been so talented, and he's just gifted.
Yeah,
And-
but the ladies hate him.
Oh, chill
Wait,
out.
Every time he comes on stage, it
don't
is like,
don't
in the
vote for
studio.
people other than Chance because you take it for granted that he's
Agreed,
going to
you're
be
Thank
in
you.
it.
You're right.
Thank you.
I
You're
do
right.
think this is worth pointing
That's
out.
really
I was
silly.
Please
just
do
gonna say
not
that.
jinx it, because I think literally Chance was audition 1, and people have said from the beginning he's for sure going to make it. How'd that work out with Hillary for America?
Yeah.
Vote for Chance.
Devastating.
Yeah.
So the point is, vote for Chance if you think he's a certainty.
Yeah.
I have.
He's in.
Do you want to finish?
I would
your-
love to continue.
your-
I would love to continue.
Continue.
Chance brings it every single week. There's just no way you can't look at him when he's performing. You're just like, wow, look at him. He's smiling. He's giving it to you. And he's putting down some spin moves now. Did you see that?
Bro.
Oh,
Bro.
he rewound it and did the
I mean,
replay
Suzanne
over
was
and
like,
over.
"The
I was shook in the crowd. I was shook in the
I was
crowd.
with you. I watched you. You were like totally flipping out, and I was doing the exact same thing. I was like, he just did a double spin into like on his knees. Oh my gosh, I was flipping out. And then Tabitha walked by. I was like, what did Chance just do? When
Yeah.
he could? That, anyways, talent.
The
No.
whole performance
Talent.
was insane. Like, I literally, and I think like you said, what's special about him is as good of a performer as he is, as good of a singer as he is, he's an even better person.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like,
Correct.
and I can't say enough how much he should be in this boy band. I think
Right.
that his whole entire performance was like on the level of, I don't know, like, people like you said, would you pay to go see that? I would pay twice to go see that. Like his little mic flip, his confidence, the way he sings.
So we'll go see him in concert,
Sorry.
and you can pay for my ticket and back that up and pay
Perfect.
twice. Okay, but seriously, you guys, that's what I said to him backstage is the fact that you could take that moment where your place in a band depends on it and still make it about something bigger than you. Not that anybody who was just thinking about their journey and whatever, that's fine. Like, everyone's entitled to do that. But the fact that he could have a moment bigger than himself there, I just am floored by him as a person. Suzanne's about to cry. I'm
Me
just
too.
floored. Anyone else want to gush about Chance before we move towards our end
Well,
thing?
Go ahead.
Nope, you go.
Okay. Well, since like he was one of the guys I met actually later on the show, later when I was on. We did a duet together, and that was the first time that I really like had met him. I'd met all the other guys, but I hadn't really talked to him much. But like since doing that duet with him and meeting him and rehearsing with him, he was by far the most genuine person on the show, the most helpful when you needed it. He was the guy that you would go talk to if you needed to just have a moment. That was him. And so like he's extremely talented. We all know that. He's
Right.
an amazing performer. He can really connect with the lyrics. He connects with the audience. But as you were saying, he's just as good, if not better, of a person backstage. And so he's always just been one of my faves on the show, just because of how great he is as a person.
I would cry with him.
Yeah.
I would.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Have you cried with him?
I've cried with him at least 3 times. And like we were just there for each other, you know. And he's there for everybody else as much as he was for me, and that shouldn't be taken for granted. Chance Perez, top 5.
Well, especially when you
Number 1.
All of us are thinking about right now what they're getting to win this prize, but there's this whole other baggage that comes with this prize, right? And so we always talk about the level of maturity, what you're like doing interview, all of this other stuff, because these people are going to be a family, and you can definitely see him being a constructive part of a family.
Oh, yeah.
Just in any setting that he's in. I mean, obviously he's a father, but I think even if he wasn't, he still has the personality of like being nurturing and being kind. And
Yeah, he's super compassionate, huge
Yeah.
heart. And I think I think that's something that really hasn't been talked about on this show, or not on this show, but on Boy Band as a narrative of how are these people going to get along.
Yeah.
You know, like I've lived with them at their hotel for the last 2 months, so I see a lot, and I'm like, oh gosh, if these two people are in the same group together, there's going to be some of this. This would be so much easier. Mikey gets along with everybody. He's so chill. Never like high highs or low lows. He's just like, that's the kind of guy you want.
Yeah.
From a personality standpoint, So, and so we were talking about Chance. He's just got a huge heart, and he's gonna bring a lot of cohesion to the group just from his compassion.
Well, we also talk about the construct of it's who can sing this and where do they fit in, and Michael Connor is rapping. But I think what's going to be so interesting about what actually turns out with the band is that it's actually just who America is voting for. It isn't a bunch of producers putting this group together that looks like this or that looks like that. I mean, we've talked about race on the show. Like, are they only going to let, a certain number of people who look like this, who sound like this, who can sing and span, all of the things. We talk about those dynamics, what's going to go into the final group. But the actual final group is being decided by America, so it's so cool because obviously there's great producers out there who want to work with the boys, so they'll make whatever group America chooses work, but it's going to be so exciting.
So we're going to leave it there on our discussion. We gave you our thoughts. I want to close by, we have 3 guests, so I want them all to update you on what they're up to and where you can find them. First of all, thank you to everybody who has tweeted Tim on Idol. Tim, about how many tweets have you received about Tim on Idol?
Oh my gosh, I have been blown away. I've been told that it's trended twice over the last couple of weeks.
I've seen it at number 2 and number 3, but we need it at number 1.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we need it at number 1.
Thank you so much for doing that. Like, that was super sweet.
Tim,
I mean, honestly, and thank you everyone for saying that. I don't know how far it'll take us, but I would love to be a judge on Idol. I have a lot to say.
Oh, yeah.
And
Tonight proved.
We know.
So here's what we need. In the next 24 hours, we need literally tens of thousands of tweets. And it does not count unless you tag American Idol and Fremantle Media. So, at Fremantle Media.
If just our live chat does that, it will be going insane. We will be trending right now. Also, I would like to say for Tim that when we were interviewing people backstage, 4 out of the 8 boys brought him up by name and specifically said, he gave me the confidence in this type of way tonight to go out.
Yes, they did.
Be it the back rubs, the this, the that, all the stuff.
You just ruined it.
No, I'm serious. But every single person was like,
legendary.
Tim does whatever he can to get the guys ready to go out there.
Okay.
Tim, you're my idol. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, that's true. Tim Davis is. No, go ahead.
I'm not even kidding. Tim Davis, you're my idol. You've done so much for me. I always tell you that. Like, literally, I look up to you, and I thank you for everything you've done for me as a person and on the show. And not even just, helping me with my vocals. It's just helping me as a person. Like, thank you so much. You were there for me the most. Thank you.
Feels.
So, okay, so somebody's asking in the live chat, what do we tag? The hashtag is Tim on Idol. Somebody type it out. And then the usernames to tag are at Fremantle Media and at American Idol. So I know you guys are on it. We've done it before and gotten to number 2. This week we get to number 1. John, what are you up to? You just came back from tour. What do you have going on?
Well, okay, as you said, I just got back from Boys of Summer tour. I have an album out on iTunes now. It's called Blame Games. You can find it better if you just, hey, Devin. You can find it better if you just search up my name. But yeah, I'm working on just promoting the album right now. I'm doing some shows in the Philippines coming up. And then I'm back in the studio, so hopefully there's going to be more songs out soon. But yeah, it's just keeping up.
And he's growing his hair out.
And I'm growing my hair out. There you go.
What are you up to? Where can they find you?
Oh my goodness. You can find me on at Devin Hayes, just everywhere on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, everything. I am up to, I got this some dope merch coming out. You all are gonna want it. It's amazing.
Are you gonna like give us some so we can?
What
wear
about
it?
the sleeping bag that was requested?
There's gonna be Devin Hayes sleeping bag, so basically you can sleep. Okay, let's just.
Yeah, let's. And you can thank me if that does really well.
Yes, thanks Suzanne. Maybe cut her like a little
When
check
Tim
for
is
that.
on Idol, we will all wear Dev merch to go
Perfect.
watch live.
Perfect. Okay, last thing. Our producers say we got to get out of here. Last thing. The moms of Boy Band are in for a special this Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern. I can't give you the full list of who's there, but I will tell you Colleen will be there. Hey! By popular demand. So please, you guys, leave in the comments here or tweet at any of us your questions for the moms in advance because we know it's hard to keep up with the live chat. Where can they find you on social media? We're wrapping, I promise.
Suzanne, at Suzanne Quast on all social media.
And at Carissa Blades, we're very tricky like that.
Yes.
Yes, and at Dr.
We like to
Lovegrove
pick it.
on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you guys. Thank you,
Thank
John.
you.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Devin. We will see you next week one more time and Sunday night at 6, Boy Band family. Have a great week.
Dab on him, dab on him, dab on him.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bye.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.